Hello everybody. On today's Pratt Cattle Chat, I've been asking everybody to call their senators and representatives, and I guess we ought to put this in perspective and put it into figures that these people will understand. It's been going on for years, and trying to plead on their compassion for rural Americans trying to make a living has obviously not worked. So if we put this in the sense of dollars and cents and economic impact to these rural communities, maybe that'll sink in, that is what they are there to represent. We're going to look at just this week's cattle kill. We're going to round the numbers off just a little bit, but let's use the number 600,000 of fed cattle kill, with an average carcass weight this week of 860 pounds, with an average box beef price, if they're 75% choice, worth $2.25 a pound. That makes a fat steer worth $1,935 to the packer before the $100 a head OFAL, which would bring the grand total being worth, $2,035 on 600,000 head. So that's a $613 a head margin. $1,613 times 600,000 of them is $367,800,000 that the packers profited from 1 week's cattle kill. In that same week, and again, I'm rounding numbers, but I would say the average break even on the fat cattle they processed would have been somewhere around $1.20. So live price $1.05, $15 a hundred. The cattle feeder probably lose in the realm of $200 a head, which is $120 million. Well, the packers profited $367 million, owning them for 48 hours, 60, call it a week if you want. The cattle feeder that had purchased them, invested the money, and owned them for 4, 5, 6 months with all the risk, lost $120 million. That's the money he's going to go back to buy the replacement feeder with, that in turn is going to be purchased cheaper with more caution. And when the feeder guy goes back to purchase the calf, the same will be done. So with $367,800,000 in a week, times 4, that's $1.5 billion that the packers are sucking out of rural communities in a month. I believe the economic idea is that money turns over 3 times before it leaves a community. So in 1 month, the packers have done $4.5 billion damage in the economies of rural America. $4.5 billion. Right now, these senators and representatives are trying to figure out how to divide up and send us a $9.5 billion poverty check for the people that lost money during the coronavirus. In 1 month, the packers do almost half that much damage to the real economies if the margins are left the way they are. So extrapolate that out. Let the packer have 100 profit. Let the feeder make $100. Let the guy selling the stock or grower selling the feeder make 100, and the calf man make additional 100. If that was the case, we would put $20 a hundred on calves, considering they weigh 5, $12 a hundred on feeders weighing 8. You'd have a cattle feeder that had been profitable coming back to purchase those feeders again. So when you call your senators and representatives, obviously they have no care and compassion for rural life and the way we've done things and trying to fix the system for our well-being. But don't you think the economic impact of the rural communities that elect them, that might resonate? Or the fact, do they really want to start sending cattlemen for the next 30 years poverty checks like they do the grain farmers to keep us in business and supplying the best food in the world? So keep it simple, but express to them that the packers make $367 million this week. And what if that is directly out of every ag community's pocket in this country? Your schools, your restaurants, houses, tire shops, every repair shop. I mean, everything that keeps all these communities going in our way of life. So try to put them in layman's terms. If you have any questions, please ask below. And again, you guys have a good Easter Sunday. Keep the fire burning. And I'd like to keep the pressure on. I've been on the phone all day. I've actually had some politicians call. I've had people call. This message is getting out if we keep the fire burning. We have got to press on right now. These Republican senators and